planning on changing the world just like me. You could be the chairwoman and I'll be the trustee. Let me give all to your benefit. Then I'll get blessed out my deficit.
Hey, 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 hey. Welcome back to your Corporate IQ. I am your host, Tangil Johnson.
And your co-host, LeChez Solages.
LeChez, it's 2025. You know what time it is, girl. Is the makeup ready? Oh, yeah, it's ready.
Yes.
Look, I can
Yes,
see.
yes.
Girl, that makeup is on fleek, as they would say back in the day.
Bleak.
I know, right? I'm old school, you know. Okay, and let's see. You got your pearls on.
Girl. Ooh, girl. 2025.
Oh, girl, well, you know, we're going to have to work on that. That's all right. That's all right. This is 2025. We're doing a new thing.
Yes.
Also, hey, we got our hair. Hey, I think we kind of matching today, right?
Yes. We're looking similar.
Okay,
Yes.
well, in the words of Q-Tip, high, low, or even open toe, put your heels on, baby. We get ready to talk about corporate, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But before we start, let's just put this out there. The standard disclaimer, y'all know what it is. The views expressed by your corporate IQ are of our own and do not reflect the views of any company or organization. All right, and today we're going to reflect on the year, tips for our listeners as they plan and execute this year. Anything else we want to share with our listeners, it's just going to come out. This is going to be a free form, all right? Because y'all know we're going to talk about the pearls and the perils of corporate America from the lens of the person of color. All right?
That's
So,
it. That's
LeChez,
it.
in your words, don't you say let's dive in?
Let's dive in, right?
Let's dive in. And so, LeChez, I know we've had many conversations leading up to this episode about, well, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to bring to the people, right? And for me, this 2025, I have two things I am focused on. That is being purposeful and planned. So, in the years of 2020 to 2024, I had the word of listening. And so for that entire time, I've been practicing because I'm hard headed. So, it took a few years for me to get going. But this year, it's being purposeful and planned. And so we're going to touch up on some topics, at least from my perspective. And of course, I'm sure you have your own things you want to share with the people. But for me, I want to talk about the playing field.
That's a good one.
Knowing the playing field. We've said it before in previous podcasts, right? But I think we just need to go a little deeper, take a little deeper dive into what that means. Often, LeChez, and I know, and any other talent acquisition person, recruiter who's been out here, you're dealing with wading through hundreds of people per job.
Yes.
Matter of fact, LeChez, just give me an idea of, on some of your recent recruits, how many people do you go through just to be able to talk to one qualified candidate?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, it depends on how hard the role is to fill too, but yeah, I mean, you can go through, gosh, I've gone through, hundreds of people just to get, a handful of folks that are even, you know,
Yes,
available and qualified for the role and that sort of thing. So,
right.
yeah, it's a
Right.
lot.
Yeah, because first off, you're starting off with just looking at the resume, right? No person on the other end. You can't measure anything but what they put on paper. And Lord knows some folks have not got a clue when it comes to writing resumes. We know we've been hired to
Yes.
fix some of that, right?
Yes.
But I was trying to figure out how can I break this down. And so recently I joined a Woman Loves Football club.
Ah.
Yeah, my motive is I'm trying to join in with my honey who is an avid football lover, and so that I could bond with him and meet with him where he is. And let me tell you, if I could just do any comparison to once you've gotten a job and you think you know what you're doing because you come with a set of skills.
Right.
I know about the quarterback, the running back, the end zone, right? The kickoff. And so the other day we were watching a game, and and I'm like, yeah, he's out the end zone. And my husband was like, no, babe. And I was like, but I thought I knew, I know a little
Right.
bit, but I don't really know. So before I start, trying to contribute to this Woman Loves Football group, I need to do a little study, right? And so, here's a couple of tips regarding American football.
Do your research.
I did a little bit of research. So it says the offense tries to move the ball down the field and score points, right? And of course, there's more nuances to it. And so then I stopped to think, okay, they're describing the actual game. But wait a minute. That's after you're hired, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a draft, right? You got to pick the players. Well,
Mm-hmm.
before you pick the players got to be conditioned. They got to do their work, right? They got
Mm-hmm.
to know
Right.
where their weaknesses are and where their strengths are. I was like, is football like recruiting?
Or like corporate, yeah, for
A
sure.
job? And so yeah, these are some of the things I wanted to talk about because so often people show up on our teams, on our phone, to say, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, I'm suited. I'm ready to go. Put me in, coach. Put me in, Miss Recruiter." And you find out that they don't know the name of they don't know they've misspelled the company name.
Mm,
They don't know what the company does because they didn't
mm,
do their research. They might have skimmed a website or whatever, but they really don't know, right?
right.
I mean, perfect examples when we used to work for this big international trucking company, this right, this manufacturer of trucks. People thought it was a car when they call us, right?
Ridiculous.
But no, we're not the car. We're trucking. And so it happens every day. And so this is really what I'm trying to say to the people. Before you get the job, first of all, are you conditioned? Do you know what your abilities are? Most likely, people have become quite astute at knowing some of their abilities. Quite
Mm-hmm.
often, they're wrong, though. When we get to coaching people, they're like, oh, here are my competencies, and here's what I'm not good at. And almost 99% of the time, the things they say they're not good at, they are good at. And the things that they say that they aren't good at, I mean, the things they say they're not good at, they are good. And the things they think they're good at, they are not. You know, it's
Right,
what it
right.
is. And so I guess, this goes back to our coaching cycle, LeChez. It starts with awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you? What
Right.
makes you tick? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, what skills, knowledge, and abilities do you have?
Yep.
And then after you've determined that, okay, then um, how are you going to use them? And
Mhm.
where are
Even
you going to
awareness of your weaknesses too, being aware of the weaknesses.
Yes, and where are you going to use them? So often people just want a job, right? They want a
Right.
job, and even if you do have the ability to do a job, is that what you're passionate about?
Right.
Because if you're not passionate about it, your output's gonna be mediocre, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's too many unemployed people out here that for an employer to accept mediocre. And
Mm-hmm.
when I say mediocre, I don't mean that, your work is subpar, but if you don't know the game, you don't know the players, you don't know the objective of the company, of the department, um, of your teammates, the significance of your role,
Mm-hmm.
then what you doing? What you doing out here? You showing up to play football and they playing rugby. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna stop talking because, of course, I can continue on and on. But
Yeah, but it's like understanding the playing field. That's what you're saying. Like, do you even know what sport you're playing? That sort of thing. It's like you
do you
have
know
to
the
understand where you are. What is the playing field for where you are? And it's different, by the way, at different companies. We were talking about this earlier, is that the landscape which you're facing is different at each company. We've
total,
worked at a variety of large companies, and the landscape is totally different. Who are the
total,
players? Who are the people that you should know, and the people that should know you?
right?
That's all different. What's the political,
Yes,
game that you have to play at every company is completely different.
totally different. And do you know that's a competency? Being politically savvy, that's a
Mm.
competency. So if you're not politically savvy, you do not quite understand business acumen on top of the culture of the company you're seeking. And of course, knowing what they consider a star player, then what you doing? What you doing? This is what I'm trying to understand. So, LeChez, you were having a conversation with me earlier about, I guess, people that are in transition. I
Mm.
guess, we might be a little early to jump into that, but it's all relevant.
Yeah.
You mentioned just now, who knows you? Let's dive into that for a minute because I think the people need to understand all pieces. And yes, we might be jumping around, but hey, catch it. We're throwing it out there, catch it. Talk about it. While
Yeah.
you get ready to talk, I'm about to drink a little of this something something out of this your corporate IQ glass. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I mean, understanding the playing field, people have to know you. The right people have to know you, right? You have to network with the right people at an organization. That's all a part of navigation, understanding the playing field. Is your leader a big deal? Who's a big deal within these organizations? And you need to get to know that person. You need to know who you have to be in community with, for
Yes,
sure.
yes,
That's really how internal movements, that's how you really are getting jobs, externally and internally, is really
yes.
through this networking that you are doing. Understanding the playing field, understanding who you need to know and who needs to know you is a big part of navigation at these large corporations.
Right. So just think about if we go back to football and you on the field hoping to get picked up at the draft, those players know who's showing up to watch them. They already know. They already know who they hope to be picked up by. They already know what coach is looking for what. You see, yes, it is important for people to know you because part of that navigation comes from the likability, right? They got to
Hmm.
like you.
Yeah.
But typically, people don't like you just because you're nice. Nice doesn't get you very far in corporate America. Let me tell you, nice is nice. That's your introduction, but that's not what moves you forward. What moves you forward is understanding who you're dealing with, what the expectations are,
Hmm.
not just of uh, your role, but of the department and how it impacts others, right? What is the significance of a department that you plan to walk into? Then you get into, well, what's the purpose of your role, right? And
Mm.
what's the
Hmm.
dynamics of your team? What's the team dynamics?
Mm.
What's the personality of your manager?
Yep, it's all important.
Do you have a servant leader style manager? Do you have an autocratic manager, which we can just say a micromanager? Do you have
Hmm.
a laissez-faire manager that is completely hands off and don't know what's happening? These are the things that you need to know before you even step in the door, before you even apply, right?
Hmm. Yes.
Find out, if you want to be an engineer, find out who's the head of engineering, right? Then go do
Right.
some research on that person and see, yay, what school did they go to? Because
Hmm.
maybe uh, they've got a master's degree, in something with certifications. And if they do, you better know that that's part of what they hold as important, noteworthy, and desired, regardless of what the job description says. right?
Right. Right.
So, yeah, if you're going to be a part of a team, you got to understand the team dynamics. You got to understand the structure of the team.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot involved when you are preparing for work in corporate,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Corporate is not nonprofit, okay? It is not. It is not even government, though lots of corporations support government agencies. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
operate like government. It's
Right.
not education. It's
Right.
different. It's different. So first, when you understand that level, then you got to go to the industry that you're in. I'm currently working in construction, LeChez. Well,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Construction is a big, wide industry with sub industries,
Yes.
right? So I could, we worked for the same company before, and one of the divisions dealt with construction, but it was construction rentals. It was
Mm-hmm.
construction manufacturing equipment. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's not me getting ready to lay some concrete or put up some plaster. Totally different,
Completely
right?
different. Yeah.
Completely different. And so, even within the construction industry, I had to learn about mechanical contracting. And
Mm.
within mechanical contracting, I had to learn that there's multiple players in mechanical contracting. You
Mm.
got people that produce materials for it. You got people that fabricate those materials, move the materials. You've got people that are managing at a higher level, coordinating a construction um, project, and they're hiring the mechanical contractor only to handle the mechanical systems.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's electrical, there's that concrete I talked about, there's all these other different players. So when I tell you not to be naive and thinking that all you need to do is say, hey, I got a good set of skills. I'm a nice person. I'm a hard worker. How many times have we heard that?
I'm a hard worker.
I'm a hard worker. I'm dedicated. I'm loyal. All of those things are nice and all of those things are required. But there's so much more and so many more factors, down to assessing how you think. What is your
Mm-hmm.
behavioral traits? Are you
Yes.
fast? Are you slow? Are you, you know, I'll never forget. This is kind of a little off topic, but previously I was coaching someone who LeChez was brilliant in their
Mm.
mind. They could re-engineer anything,
Wow.
and they kept taking first line help desk jobs.
Mm.
At the first line help desk of any technology, what is the objective? It is not to re-engineer anything.
Right.
It's all about speed. How many
Mm-hmm.
calls can I take within a certain period of time and get them not resolved, but get them to either answer their question quickly or get them to someone who can resolve it?
Mm.
That's the
Mm-hmm.
objective of a first level help desk. This
Yeah.
person was really more of a third level help desk because they want to resolve the problem. So they were hired by a company they've been hoping to get hired from forever. And they got in and they were like, okay, I got this first level help desk. I'm going to kill it. And they got a call, and for whatever reason, they wanted to fix the problem. And
Mm.
you know what they did? They fixed the problem. An hour later, they fixed the problem.
Mm.
And so that customer was oh so grateful, oh so thankful that this person went above and beyond. And unfortunately, that person was let go.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
And they were like, but I resolved the problem. The customer was happy.
Yeah.
But what was the significance and purpose of your role? It
Mm.
was not for you to spend an hour trying to resolve the problem. It was for you to
Yeah.
send it, create a ticket, and send it to the second level or the third level so they can resolve the problem. You didn't
Yeah.
have that job yet. Right?
Yeah.
That
Knowing where
person
you are and what your skills are and how they fit into the role. It's like you're not in the
exactly
right role. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Know your motivation, know your skill set before you even jump out there to get a job. You know, and I know when someone comes to us and they say, "Yes, I need a coach. Here, help me with my resume." First thing we do is say, "Okay, we'll do that in a moment."
Right.
Who are you? Why are
Right.
you here? Tell
Right.
me about you. Tell me your story, right?
Yeah. What are you trying to do? Yeah.
What are you trying to do? So, you know, again, if I go back to football, I'm still learning. That's why I haven't made any moves in this women's group yet. Because though I am watching this game, almost every other night, um, I'm trying to get familiar with these player names because I'm not. I'm trying to get familiar with the positions, but I don't know anything about all those coaches and all those people on the sidelines with the headphones. Who are they? What do they do? And why are they over there? And, right? And
Mhm.
that's just one small piece because we didn't cover the referees. We didn't cover the commentators. We didn't cover the people in the skybox that are giving instruction or the owners who's sitting back there with their glass, okay, watching.
Mhm. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are many, many facets to getting from a point A to point B,
Yes. So
right?
many. So many.
So many. And no one's
I'm
going to know everything, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No one's going to know everything. I'm
Yeah.
curious too about one of the things I'm curious about is you reflecting on last year. I can't
Yeah.
believe we're saying last year. I'm
Oh,
like, it's already
already.
last year.
Already.
Uh, yeah, share a little bit about,
Oh,
last year.
wow. So last year for me, um, I took on some new ventures in addition to, nursing my baby, this Your Corporate IQ. Um, One, I'm so proud of us.
Yay!
We together have put out a quality product. In terms of all the podcasts we've watched of others, our motive, our objectives, our vision was realized. We wanted
Yes.
to, share our thoughts, our experience, and then include others that are of great position and experience to share theirs so that our audience would be able to have some great takeaways when most of the times you don't get that level of insight, right?
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
and so yeah, I'm really excited about that if I reflect back. Taking on new ventures, you can't get stagnant as a business owner. That's a whole nother set of knowledge, skills, and abilities that you must have. And for all you practitioners out there that say you want to run a business, come talk to me because I want to dig deep and make sure you really do want to run a business and not just be a great practitioner. Two different things,
Yes. Two
right?
different things. Yes.
But as a business owner, there's so many things you have to consider, like, what are your multiple streams of income?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know
Mm-hmm.
your target audience? Do you have
Yes.
a plan?
Do you have capital?
Do you,
That's a big one.
do you have
Do you
capital?
have capital? That's the big one.
Exactly. I mean, oh my gosh. And did you know in running a business, that really is got to be the passion and the love, not doing the work, not being the worker. It is, I'm going to create this thing and I'm going to watch it grow and make
Yes.
money and be successful. That
Yes.
is what being a business owner is. So many
Yes.
practitioners are like, oh, I got to sell. All I really want to do is what I do well. No, no.
Mm-hmm.
Being a business owner says, I'm going to get in here, create, and I'm
Right.
going to sell, I'm going to ship, I'm going to do the practice that I know how to do. I'm going
Right.
to
That's the work
network.
part. Right.
I,
That's the work.
that's the work. And so, yeah, if you all are looking for business coaching, give us a call. We know about that too. We don't know everything, but there's some things we can certainly help guide you. Because truly, some people are cut out just to work for someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's others that are not, right? And for those that aren't, certainly you got to still find your niche. So, yeah, that's one thing that I could reflect back on. I also found myself in a place where, in my day job, um, I think that I've done a lot of great things
You have. You have.
in the role that I'm in, but I also am having to pay attention to what does the company need, right? What is the ultimate goal, business uh, strategy and or result, and how does my position fall in line with that? And am I delivering what it is that they need in order to get the achieved results? You
Mm.
know, being a corporate recruiter, LeChez, we are in a precarious situation because our customer are internal managers.
Mm-hmm.
We share a delivery model with HR,
Mm-hmm.
and though talent acquisition is not HR,
Right. It's not.
it's not. HR focuses on administration and, of course, making sure that the people are covered and taken care of. We're almost like salespeople, right? Sales and
Mm-hmm.
marketing people. We are out on the hunt to find the talent, understand our company,
Mm-hmm.
understand our culture, understand our managers, understand
Right.
the business, and
Mm-hmm.
then go on the hunt to find those right people that have the knowledge, skills, ability, the motivation,
Mm-hmm.
the right attitude, right?
Right.
And have the promotability.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that may involve doing research. That may involve, once you get them on the line, doing negotiation, doing sales of the company and convincing them why we're the better choice.
Mm-hmm.
That's very different than what uh, goes on in HR.
Yes. It's a totally different,
It is,
totally different discipline.
but yet we still must move and understand that space. So for all of you talent acquisition folks out there, kudos to you that are in corporate, because it's not an easy job. For those of you that are working for agencies, that could be a difficult job too, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
now you're one state removed from your customer, right? You don't have that window that a corporate recruiter would have to understand the playing field, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
That
so,
relationship's harder.
right. So what are they focused on? They're focused on speed. Let me
Mm-hmm.
throw you as many people as I can and see what sticks, because I'm trying to get this commission, okay? I'm trying to get
Mm.
this commission. Now, some agencies out there are focused on quality, especially if they're
Like
search. Right.
what?
They're doing the analytics, they're being very thorough.
Mm-hmm.
But even they are at a disadvantage because they're not on the inside. And
Right.
so, words of wisdom I'd like to impart to my fellow recruiters and talent folks out there. When you're working with a search firm or you are working with an agency, and there is a difference, um, don't go past your HR people. Why? Because ultimately, the HR community wants to cover and protect all of the corporate risk and success of the people. And so you would be better off building the relationships with the corporate recruiter than, say, bypassing them to get to a manager who you think is going to be salivating over your candidate, and only to find out in the end they're not a cultural fit. And then
Yeah.
frustrated with the company because they didn't pick your candidate. You know,
Mm.
there is a way for you to still move quickly, right? And understand the manager's needs and the company's needs, and how you can utilize that corporate recruiter to help you succeed. So,
Mm.
yet another opportunity to understand the playing field.
Ah, yes, 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 yes.
Yeah, and
Oh
since
my
I've done it
goodness.
all, I've been the agency, I've been the search, I've been the branch manager, I've been the corporate recruiter, I've been the salesperson. But if I am calling on you, I need you, because I don't
Yeah.
have time, or I don't have the expertise, or I don't have a deep well of this talent. Um, but understand that there's a process, there's a way of communicating. You still got to know how to communicate with people. I'm operating thinking, hey, I'm doing what I need to do, but do I understand how my customer moves? Do I understand what my customer needs? And
Mm.
am I adapting and being flexible to changing the way I work so that this partnership succeeds? So many lessons.
Yes, yes. What do we want to give the people? We would be remiss if we didn't give the people some, tips for the new year. What would that
Oh,
be? What are some of the things? I mean, you've given some, but what are some of the tips that you want to give, in the new year here?
oh Lord. Well, one, you have to get online, find a good report out there. The Garner report is one. Deloitte has a great report to understand the climate of employment and
Mm.
and
Mm-hmm.
business. You need to understand business, um, what it is, what's important, because at the end of the day, business doesn't work if the company isn't making money. So if you want to know where does your company stand and what they care about making money.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because one, that's how they survive. Two, that's how their employees get paid, right? And that's how they plan for their family. So if you're not studying and reading about current trends, that's tip number one. You need to do that. Invest that time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
a second one would be, for sure, invest the same time in you and the study of you, because you are what, LeChez? You are the
The
CEO
CEO.
of self. And hey, if you don't know what makes you tick, what makes you successful, what makes you have the happy moments and feel accomplished, then hey, whew, we got to start there, right?
Yes,
We
that's
got to
it. That's it.
that we have to start there. And some people are like, I don't know where to start. Well, hey, you can call your corporate IQ, and you can start there, because everybody needs a coach or a mentor. Of course, somebody that you admire or respect, or who has proven that they have the experience to move the needle forward, and that they understand you and your background and maybe your discipline and or industry. So get a coach, get a mentor. Is and
Yes.
not that's in life. That's just not for business. It's in life. If you don't have a financial advisor, you need one. Having a CPA, you need one,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you own a business,
Right.
right? Understanding
Absolutely.
taxes, understanding tax shelters, so
Yes.
on and so
Tax
forth.
implications on your business.
Yeah, it's implications. So I guess again, LeChez, let me just go back to reflection. I have been doing a lot of introspective work on self,
That.
so that I could make my self development plan
Mm-hmm.
on how I'm going to move myself forward, because it is not going to happen by osmosis. And
Right.
so, right? And that's what I want to share with the people is, you can complain all day about what is, and instead of what your plans are on what is going to be, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I think that leads into maybe some of the tips I would have for listeners as well, is like being strategic,
Yes.
about your professional and personal goals, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that I thought about recently is that, I spend more time, I think, if I'm honest with myself, about being strategic professionally, and
Yes.
you create your plans moving into the new year. I mean, folks have like their weight loss goals, but I think beyond that, we're not as strategic and planned as it relates to our personal goals, whether that's things for yourself or maybe even your family, your kids, all of it, all of
Yeah.
those things. You have to be just as strategic and intentional about those goals as well. So I think that's something I had to be reminded of as I'm
Mhm.
so focused on the professional growth. You have to grow as an individual, as a person as well
Yes.
each year. And so you have to work on that just as hard.
Yes.
What else did I want to give to the people? Thinking big. We were talking about this earlier today.
Yes.
Thinking big as you are creating your plans, right?
Mhm.
Not thinking small as you kind of navigate, as you plan. Think
Right.
big from the beginning. What are you ultimately trying to achieve? It's not about navigating to one job or two jobs. It's an
Right.
entire career that you are navigating. And so that's a
Yes.
big, massive thing that you have to understand. Then you can start to develop your plan and what pieces and what you need to do to get there. But think big from the beginning and know what you are navigating, right?
Yes. Exactly. And some people will hear that, LeChez, and say, "Think big." What does that mean?
Yes.
I was thinking big. I wanted a Maserati and I wanted a 5-bedroom house and a pool in the back. That's thinking big, right?
Mm,
Maybe. But do you know what the maintenance cost is on that? Do you know what it takes to keep what you have once you get it? Do you know
mm.
how to get it? Do you know how to get it a good interest rate? There's so many facets to any and all things that you're trying to achieve. So, you know, if you don't know where to start, again, I want to impress upon you, talk to someone, get a coach, get a mentor.
Mhm.
They can help at the very least get you to be self-aware, help you to know how to um, make a plan and execute.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Like what is big? So, big doesn't have to necessarily be monetary and all the things, right? It doesn't have to be the cars and the houses. And maybe it is for some people, right? But I think
Right.
if you really spend time with that professional and personal development and even blending the two, what is it really about? So, one of the things that I came to by the end of the year is what it's really about. And it's not about the things. Not for me. I mean,
Not
those
about,
things are nice,
yeah,
those things are nice, right?
yeah,
And those are things that I will have and that sort of thing. But that's not what it's about. Like, what is
right.
it really about? And that to me, that is big.
Yes,
Understanding being purposeful in your life. What is it really about? What is your passion? I mean, I don't waste my time and I like to spend time on things that I'm passionate about doing. Like, cause you're at work a long time. So
yes,
I'm going to spend time doing the things that I want to do. So to me, the big thing is freedom,
yes,
freedom to do the things that I want to do the way that I want to do them. That's actually really where I've landed after my journey last year and where I'm at right now. It's like, I want to have the freedom to do the things that I want to do the way that I want to do them. And that's professionally and that's personally. That's in
yes,
both realms. That's what I want.
yes. That's awesome. And also being able to name it. Sometimes you go on feelings and you're like, I can't really put it into words. Well, if you can't put it into words, then it's just a feeling.
Hmm.
And so in being able to name your feelings, being able to name your passions, name your goals, you got to get it out of your head. You got to put it on some paper, right? Because you need to look at it, you need to analyze it, you got to use your critical thinking skills, because that's all part of being strategic, as LeChez said. So these are just a few things, folks. This is us trying to kick off the year in good spirits, happy that we made it to 2025.
Yes, yes. Tough year, man. It was a tough year.
Tough year, yeah, and it's about to get crazy up in this piece in
Yeah,
2025.
for
You know,
sure. For
we got
sure.
we got new leaders coming in. There's all kinds of things happening in the world right now. We send our sympathies and empathy to those that didn't make it, the families that weren't able to move forward, um, those impacted by unforeseen events. Um, but there's still more for you to do You can't be stagnant. If you're stagnant, you're not growing, right? And if you're not growing, you're dying. So we want to encourage you to not set New Year's resolutions. Really give it some thought about what's going to make the next and latter part of your life something that you're proud of, right? Not
Yes.
anybody else, but what you're proud of. And so by doing that, you start with, working on yourself.
Yes, yes. And a couple other nuggets. Just want to leave folks with kindness and generosity. I have actually seen, so like in the LinkedIn space, for example, the new year started, or 2024 started kind of brutal. I mean, it was a really
Yes.
rough space. I was seeing a lot of inhumanity at that time at the beginning of the year as, the machines, AI was coming in and you saw a lot of roboticism. And I'm happy to see that at the end of the year, I saw a lot of or a fair amount of generosity and kindness and people helping each other. And so I want to see that continue and I want to encourage that with all of our listeners. Pay it forward. There's folks out here still looking for work. Do what you can to help them.
Yes.
Help people along. Do what you can.
Yes.
Kindness and generosity. Let's continue to be humans as the
Yes.
machines do what they do. Let's continue to do what we do. It should be human things. And so that's what I
Oh,
want to put forward and out in the universe to everyone.
cheer, cheer.
Cheers on that. Look,
Cheers on
two.
that. I had to take a sip on that one, girl. That was awesome. You are absolutely right. Because at the end of the day, there's no position in corporate or anywhere that matters when you're on uh, your bed and your health is failing, or you're alone, and you really wish you could just hear from anyone to give you a word of encouragement, to give you a hug. My God, who would think that that's high real estate these days is
It's
to,
terrible, sad.
yeah. So please remember humans first, machines second, right? And then, of course, let's remember, as LeChez said, think big, but also know the playing field. Know the
Hmm.
playing fields of life, no matter what avenue you are pursuing. Before you just step in, do some research, make sure you understand all the players, you understand the goal, right? And you understand your position.
Yes.
All right. Well, hey,
Yes.
we did this longer than I thought we would, girl.
There was a lot. There was a lot to get through. I mean, there's a lot to share, but
Yeah.
we had to do it.
Yes.
Yes, it's Happy
And
New Year.
Happy New Year. And so we do have a couple of quick announcements. So one, again, we ended the year with, I think, 23 episodes. I think
About 23 episodes, yeah.
3 episodes. We got one more. We weren't able, because of technical difficulties, we weren't able to get you the last one of 2024, but it's coming. And then for the new year, we're going to probably change up a little bit, change our format a little bit, right? I think where we were giving you one episode every other week, I think we're going to probably give you one episode, maybe 2 episodes, LeChez. What do you think? 1 or 2 episodes a
Yeah.
month. And we might dial back some of the old episodes to remind you, a refresher, because, we can't be assumptive in thinking that everybody's watched all 23, right? And so we don't want you to forget all of our wonderful guests who have left gems, nuggets, pearls, diamonds, all
Tons
of
of
that.
pearls. Tons of pearls.
Yes, for you, and perils that you must be aware of. And I hope you're following them all. I hope that you found all these folks out here, on some type of platform, and that you're following them. If you really enjoyed their messages and what they had to share, follow them, because hey, they understand they understand corporate IQ, right?
Mhm.
They do, and are discovering new pearls along the way. So hey, follow them, follow us, right?
Yes, yes. I know I increased my corporate IQ tremendously last year. Like
Ooh,
a lot.
I am actually increasing mine right now. Being that I've been doing this as long as I have, you can also rest on your laurels and say, oh, I know this. I got this. And say, I don't really need to learn anymore because I'm doing what I do and I know how to do it. But no, the world is changing. Life is changing. Technology is changing by the nanosecond.
Yes.
And so, no, you have to continue to be a lifelong learner. If, again, you want to move forward in life, right? We don't live in a bubble, even though sometimes I like being in the bubble. But no, we don't live in a bubble. So we have to challenge ourselves continually. And so with that said, LeChez, unless you have anything else to share.
I think that is it. Kindness and generosity. That's what I want to leave the folks with. Yeah.
Awesome. And so, yeah, we're probably going to have some new things pop up on our website. Like, did you want to get you a Your Corporate IQ glass? You can put in it whatever you'd like. I never did say what I have in mind.
We're
Um,
classy.
we're probably going to have some sponsors coming this year. We're definitely going to have some workshops happening this year. We hope to have some events where we can let our hair down, swish, swish, and
Yes.
and have some fun with our listeners and our guests. So
Yes. We
yes,
want to see you. We want to see you.
yeah, we don't want to just live in the bubble. We want to actually touch, hug, right? And have a human connection. So, with that said, stay tuned for more episodes of Your Corporate IQ. We're interested in hearing from you. I say it every episode. How can you reach us? info@yourcorporateiq.com. Like us and engage with us on the platform of LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, and more. Even TikTok, if I haven't said it. SoundCloud and Spotify. I mean, we're out there.
Yes.
We want you to increase your corporate IQ. It is so important. In our community, we do such great work, but we're the last to understand the entry point, the navigation point, and of course, unfortunately, by default, because of that, we're often finding ourselves on the exit. We want you to win. All right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
that's what
Subscribe.
we're doing. That's right. Subscribe, reach out. If you have questions, if you just want to chat, we're available. So until next time, stay tuned.
Bye.
High, low, clothes are open toe. You be looking good when you rock 'em, so put your heels on, girl. Them heels on, lady. Hit your ground hard, you drive me crazy. Palms get sweaty, I'm imagining things. When I see what reality brings, I get choked from your vision uncomparable. So dumb, man, I could write a parable. Killing when I go back to my rap hole living. Michelangelo, you on the ceiling.